2. Before chapter 2, we will brief you all the due date for your coursework, for your test 1, test 2, when you need to submit. Everything is on the whiteboard. Okay. Okay. So for your projects, I already sent out the notification email. You should be able to receive it in your email. Check your email. You can start going into the workshop in week 4, which is end of this month, to do your projects. Okay. No heavy machine is expected in your lab, in your workshop. Meaning we don't expect you to use the heavy cutter, metal cutter, all these things, right? But if you need to use, just get help from the lab technician, all right? So before you go in, make appointment first. Go and talk to lab technician, make appointment, saying that you're going to go in maybe tomorrow, and then maybe you book a week ahead, right? So let's say next week you want to go in Wednesday, at least 3 days, inform them 3 days before. So saying that my team, how many person? Like my team 3 person. We need to use the workshop 3 to 5 p.m. Want to book that time. So go and talk to lab technician nicely, okay. So when you do it, wear PPE protect yourself and all this. Okay. If you need to cut something, wear the glove, wear the spec. Okay. So again, we highlight learning outcome. So this 4 learning outcome is important throughout the module. It's where we set your question, your test 1, test 2, final exam, and also your assessment. Okay. So CL1 will be in your test 1, question 1. CL2 will be in your test 2, question 2. Test 1, question 2. CL3 will be in your test 2, question 1. CL4 will be in your test 2, question 2. And then in final 4 question, CL1, CL2, CL3, CL4, each one question. Okay. Okay. So my room, you should know where my room sit in. All right. So if you need anything, WhatsApp me. I already give my numbers, in my first class. So WhatsApp me if you want to come and see me. All right. Okay. So these are the component of how we give you marks. Okay. So take note on the date and the time of having the test. We need to let you know how many percent or 60% before your final exam. So that's why most of the lecturer, we try to avoid have test 2 in week 7. But we still can manage lah. We do in the last week of week 7 for your test 2. After the test, maybe we will mark your answer in the class straight away. Then I will let you know how many marks you have. Okay. Because week 7, week 8, you already start your final exam already. If you're taking MPU or something. So, okay. So I need to make correction. Only 4 questions since last semester. Okay. Okay. Now we look at project management. All right. Growth of project management. Okay. So this history, you read a little bit lah. In 1940s, there's one word called the concept of pass over the fence management. Okay. Why you need to learn this one? Because when you go out work, you still need to face those senior staff that live in the 1940s. So you need to know a little bit of their history, so that you understand why they behave such a way. So in 1940s, what happened during that time? Over the fence is very famous, or the culture that time. So it's like all the hat, this hat, all the hat represent one role. So if the person can wear many hats. So if the project finish, then the hat will pass to another person. So they will just throw the hat to someone who catch it, then he's the one who responsible for that project. That is the meaning of over the fence. Over the fence means you throw over the fence. Okay. Okay. So means if you throw, means you like this photo lah, not my problem anymore. Whoever catch the hat or wear the hat, he have to bear the responsibilities. Okay. So when you talk to all those uncle, those Mat Salleh, sometimes he will tell you, oh no, I wear many hats. Means you have many responsibilities. Okay. So the problems of concept over the fence, there is no single contact or point for question. Okay. We try to look this product management in two parts. One is internal and external. This is in the company. So internal, if the person wear many hats, many hats, so the customers from external, when he have question, he throw the question inside this company. Sometimes he cannot find the correct person because the changes so fast. The person keep inside the company keep throwing hat to each other. So even though you call in the hotline, but every time the hotline pass to different people. So this is the problem when you have too many hat, or the hat is throwing everywhere. Okay, because of these problems, in the US, they start to implement project management philosophy in the industry. For example, those heavy industry, car, defense, like making jets, all these things, they cannot delay their projects. They can't afford missing the investment, especially the project from government. All right. So project management start from 1950 to 1960. These are the history lah. But I won't ask you in test or final exam. Just know about the history. Okay. This one you read. Informal method in early days, they use it. Informal method means they just pass on information to whatever individual that have the willing to take up the responsibilities. And the communication is just tell you or phone over, because that time they don't have MS Team, they don't have a good internet, right? So that time the best one is telegraph and all these things. Okay, so you have to understand the background of that history. Not like today, you send WhatsApp in 1 second already received, right? So in those days, you need to wait for, if a formal letter, sometimes you need to wait for months to receive the official letter and all this. And the transportation that time is through shipping. In the local, means from one state to another state, they use train, locomotive. Okay. Aircraft is for war that time, war machine, right? Okay, this one you read, and then as the industry grow, industry area grow, then more and more. Then the NASA and the Department of Defense have more and more projects, more and more complexity. They build satellite and all these things. So they emphasize to use a very structured, systematic project management that you use today. This is the history. So that time, two departments, NASA and Department of Defense in the US, they force, they somehow they required their supplier to use project management. Means they have a document they need to fill in. There's a certain reporting system they need to follow. At that time, maybe the one of the tools that you use nowadays is the Gantt chart, project management Gantt chart. So they follow very strict all these things. Okay. All right. Now this is a very important table in project management. Maturity. Don't confuse with the chapter 1, project management process. Don't confuse this one with the process or process group. Don't answer the wrong answer. Okay. If this kind of question come out, there will be 1 or 2 students that will answer using chapter 1 answer. Okay, the keyword here is maturity. Okay, and you see the life cycle phrases. Even maturity is not there. You will see life cycle for project management. The chapter 1 is project management group, process group. So there are 5 groups from initialization, until close. But this one is life cycle. Life cycle you imagine as a baby grow to the matured adults. Okay, so we use the biological terms. For example, embryonic means a small cell. Embryonic. Then you go to acceptance phrases. So you go to management first. The information go to management, get approval, the top level of the triangular. They accept already. They pass to line management. Line management means functional unit acceptance phrase. So in the answer, if you write this one, you replace the line to functional unit management acceptance phrase, also correct answer. Okay. Then after this one, accept already, you go to growth phase. They grow the projects, then they go into maturity phase. So these are the detail there. Okay. So you can go and read in the textbook. And also important, go and read the PM book in the Canvas attachment. There's a special PM book reference or handbook standard published by PMI, Project Management Institute, that used for project management certification. So that one is part of the reference material for this module. Okay. Okay, so this one you read from the table, and it's important. This table is important. Okay. So this is the comparison between the past history on how people know about the benefit and present views. So again, this module, we like to ask you benefit, disadvantages, and all this. Okay. You don't need to, you can read, but past view not important. Important is present view. Okay. So there are more than, I think, 10 points here. We expect you to remember 5 from here. Yeah. So again, when you write, don't give point form answer. You need to elaborate a little bit. Okay. Elaborate a little bit. But the keyword is there. The keyword is there. You need to write in one line, a proper line. Okay. So the rest you read. Okay. Then in the human history after 1990s, there is a finance downturn. I think this one is like 20 years ago. In US and other nations, we have a housing market crash, financial crash, or bubble, right? So then from there, because the markets crash, a lot of people lost money, downgraded. So a lot of companies saw a slowdown in company growth, and they start to use project management to secure the company growth financially, and also protect the company stakeholders' benefit. So these are some history. Okay, so this is just an illustration on project management cost versus benefit. So y-axis is cost. Time, we don't know. Time is, as you move to the right, is more time you go. So question become, how long will it take to achieve the benefit? So here, there is a cost of project under management. So in the beginning, when you start the projects, the cost will be increased up to a certain stage, especially at the maturity stage. There are 5 stages just now. So when you reach a certain stage already, this is growth stage, then up to a maturity. So the cost stable already. Then once it's stable, the cost will go down. When it go down, then it will start to at the end of the projects, right? So why the cost can come down? Because you already buy the machine already. Then the only cost that you need to pay is labor costs, contract fees, and all these things. Okay. So as you're building a house, you're near to 90%, you need less stuff. So that's why you don't need so many bricks layer and all these things. So that's why you don't the cost go down and then stable. This is a normal maintenance cost. Okay. So this is additional profit from better management. So if you're able to apply project management method, the profit will go up. Cost, you minus things, then you get profit. This is just an illustration. This question, just a concept. It's a concept. The rest you read. Okay. So now, why the project management was so difficult in a company for implement? As you can see here, there are 3 types. There are 3 types. In chapter 1, we learn non-projects and projects. In chapter 2, you start to see hybrid. Right? So just to recap, project-driven, P&L go to project manager. Everything focus on projects. Okay. Project manager is recognized profession here in the project-driven project management style. You have multiple career path. This multiple career path means for the project manager, means they can station you into executive level or top management level to supervise in any department that need leader. Okay, so this one. Income come from projects. So at the another end is the opposite side of project driven. So non-project driven, a few projects, profitability from production. Last brick wall, this one is communication between department and department. They are so focused on the functional unit. Means finance don't share the information of the company fiscal revenue to the operator, for example. Okay, so long life cycle production and so on. So this one is product management. This is project management. In the center between these two, a transition from project to non-project, there's a phrase, there's a state in the hybrid, we call it program management. Okay. So these are the points to elaborate. It's actually in the middle between the two. So the question can mention about project driven, non-driven, then I ask you to elaborate or explain what is a hybrid project management about. Okay, so you draw this diagram. Okay, now diagram you can use dot. Diagram you can use dot, but in the answer you write in the paragraph form, don't use dot. So that is the pattern of answering question in the test of final exam. So in the diagram you can use dot, but in the answer that need long answer one, don't use dot. Okay. Okay. Project Okay, the difference is from here. Is if you compare side by side, right? Project is based on project definition, got timeline, objective, and all these things. But when it comes to program, like for example, here you focus on project, but hybrid in the program management, they will somehow emphasize on production. Okay, production. Then emphasize on new product development, marketing oriented, and short product life cycle. So if a non-project one is a long product life cycle, but in the hybrid it's a short cycle. Same with this one. Okay, and you need development process. This one, it's a little bit mixed with the production things, but most of it will be in the project side. It's a transition. It's a transition. Okay. Okay. So this one we already mentioned in chapter 1. This one you read. This one you read. Non-driven. These things. Okay. Hybrid project-driven firm with 1 or 2 divisions that have project-driven. Management can be most effectively run the organization on management by project basis. Okay, so this is the differences, the growth, the history of hybrid. Before 1990s is very traditional. So this one through R&D, project-driven division. Then after 1990s, they go into the modern management because the development of computer. You have a computer, computing power is increasing. Then they use more analytic engineering method to solve project management issues. Okay. Okay, so these are the example. Recession effect, of course, we all are very lucky we are not in that era, but there are some history we need to understand. Recession can happen anytime if global leader do not carefully and create war. Okay, so during recession, for example, there are 2 periods. In this period, 1979 to 83, they will lay off the blue collar. So blue collar and white collar. Blue collar means those operator. They wear blue shirt, blue shirt lah. So white collar is those in the office. Those wearing office in the office, they usually in that era they wear white color. Okay. Then when the recession effect, they will take away the R&D because they want to survive. So R&D is a division that take a loss of capital. So they stop R&D or delay R&D. They delay training. During recession, they want to survive. So they just want you to produce something to sell. So they train you operator, you're able to manage the machine. You do it, then they pay you money. Then they sell the products. Okay. Right. So they eliminate training. Solution sort is a very short term. They want to make money very, very in the short term. As long as there is no cost, then it's very good. So the result of is all this you read. Then another recession is here. So the target is white collar. Okay. Okay, so this one, customer expectation. You got cost, quality, and time. It's just an illustration. This one you read. Okay, so this chart is important. When we talk about definition of success, They are primary success and secondary success. How do you differentiate primary and secondary? If you look at the table, again, you look at the whiteboard here. Primary usually is the external one that deal with the customers. So if the question asks you to elaborate primary success factor and secondary success factor, you think in the external and internal. So primary one is the triangular lah. Time, cost, and the customer requirement or the specification. Okay. So you write lah, time, cost, quality, and accepted by customers. Secondary one is the internal process. There are a lot lah. Okay. But I don't expect you to remember all the points. Okay. So here, primary is 4 points. Secondary, you only need to remember 4 points. Okay. So all this is how you achieve success factor. You read lah, or it's very direct one. Okay. Okay. Future. This one you need to read a little bit. Just now you see project program success. So if the question asks you about definition, you need to be careful a bit. Whether the question asks you traditional or future definition. Okay. But my case, whichever you write also I give you correct. Means if you write, for example, the question asks you definition of projects. You can give me either left-hand side or right-hand side answer. Okay. But it's highly recommend you remember the future one because it's a modern definition. Okay. But just in case you write traditional definition, also correct. Okay, also correct. Okay, this one you read. Okay, so the whole slides, the summary of this whole slide is the true definition of failure is when the final result are not as expected by who? By the customers. By the customers. So as we go deeper, there is one definition for failure, type of failure, part of success later on. Later on. Okay, so there are many failure. I'll give you a chart. So all these are definition. So this one I will skip, but it's important for you to read. I want to show you one summarize of all these things. This important. This chart is important. Come out almost every semester. Okay, either in test or in final exam. Okay, so there are two types of the first type of failure is called pessimistic planning. Pessimistic planning. Pessimistic means very conservative plannings. So there are A, B, C, D, E. There are 5 points there. First one is none until perfection. Okay. A is none, B is actual, C is planned, D is achievable, E is perfection. Means 100%. If you give marks, 100%, achieve 100%. Actual is what you actually do. Plan is what you write in your planning, in your proposal. Achievable is your capabilities. Achievable. For example, I give you an example. Okay, let's say this is a machine. Let's say you have 10 machines in the factory floor and you are the project manager. So one machine can produce 1,000 shoes, pair of shoes in one day. This 1,000 shoes in one day is achievable. Is your capabilities. All right. So let's say one machine is 1,000. So we have 10 machine is 10,000 shoes per day you can produce. This is achievable. But on the day, on the 5 p.m., you shut down the production floor. If you only achieve 8,000 shoes, your actual is on the left-hand side of the achievable chart. Means you draw the chart. Your achievable is here. Your actual is here. Okay. Now, if you perfection, it means it more than your what you can achieve lah. Perfection. Let's say you achieve 20,000 or more in a day, then it's near to perfection. Plan is what you plan. Let's say in the production floor, you know that your capability is 10,000 shoes per day, and in your planning, you consider maybe because of the customer order in that month is not very high, so you reduce the production in that day. So you plan, let's say 7,000. What you plan in that day per day. So your plan is here. You plan 7,000 is here, for example. Okay. So if you plan 9,000, then your plan change here already. It depends on what is the status lah. Okay. Okay. Important is this one. Once you have the station A, B, C, D, E, and this is your achievement. What mean by actual failure? Actual failure is the difference between actual and achievable. The gap is between actual and achievable. Okay. It's not the difference. It's not the difference. Is I cannot say difference. Is different also can. I forget one student use one word already. It is not. Gap is correct. Different is correct. There's one student use location. It's not location. In your answer, when you draw this one, you don't write actual failure is the location of B and D. No, it's not the location. It's what you actual achievement and achieve is what the differences point B and D. It's a gap. It's a differences. Then actual is between achievable and actual. Planning failure is from what you plan, the gap plan and achievable. This is planning failure. Then perceived failure is the difference between actual and plan. Yeah. So when you have this kind of setting, it's under pessimistic planning. Means you plan below what you can achieve. Pessimistic planning, the plan location, not the plan, stage is below achievable. Is pessimistic. Another one, optimistic. Okay. So just now I explained about pessimistics. You apply the same concept. If the question asks you optimistics, you see the differences. They still got 5 points, but the 5 point actually changed already. You see achievable and plan flip. They flip already. C become achievable, plan D become plan. When you have optimistics, you see perceived failure is between actual and plan. Perceived failure is between actual and plan, same. But here is from here to here. Okay, actual plan is still same, but the gap is from here to here. Actual failure is actual and achievable. So you see, actual failure is actual and achievable. Still same, but the gap is different. Is here. Optimistics here. Optimistics is you plan more than what you can achieve. You risk taker lah. Okay. So when you plan more than what you can achieve is optimistics. When you plan, you see, when you plan less than what you can achieve is pessimistics. There are two types. So these are the important chart lah. For the question were related to failure. There are two types of failure. That there are two types of failure lead because of the planning. You fail to plan, right? Or the planning style. So this is important. And you need to give example, like what I write on the whiteboard here. You draw these two. You draw these two things. You draw these two things, and then A, B, C, D, E. Then you explain what is this, what is this. Of course, you already draw diagram already, but you need to explain what is perceived failure. It's a difference or the gap between what you plan and the actual. So you give a scenario. For example, the machine, right? One day you can sell, or the coffee machine can generate how many cups of coffee. Then you give example. Cannot. Okay. So yeah. So if this kind of question come out, how you explain? So you just give a machine. You say a machine. If you want to explain the pessimistics, a machine one day can generate 100 shoes. You just give numbers so that you know how to explain. Okay, it's like we're explaining to your staff why you fail. Because of planning, or you over plan, or you are very pessimistic. Okay, so a machine can generate 100 shoes per day. Okay, so if you are the pessimistic, you fail because of your pessimistic plannings. So what will be the case? So this is achievable, right? 100 shoes is achievable. Okay, then on the actual day, if it's a pessimistic, on the actual day, you generate only 50 shoes. Okay, so 50 is here. Actual is achievable is 100. Okay, so the difference between achievable and actual is what? Achievable and actual is actual failure. So this is actual failure. Okay, so actual failure is what? Actual failure is you fail to generate 50 shoes. per day. This is actual failure. Okay. Then you explain plan. In that day, production floor, you plan to generate 70 maybe per day. So the differences between plan and achievable is planning failure. So you explain what is planning failure. So planning failure for this case is the difference between 70 and 100. So you plan to fail. Planning failure is 30 shoes per day. In this case, for example, you fail to plan. There's a gap there. Okay. So because your machine can generate 100 shoes, you invest the machine to generate 100 shoes already. So your sponsors or your boss will show us one. Hey, why? How come? How come no 100 shoes per day? Why you plan only 70, not 100? Because businessmen, they only look at output. So your boss will mention this one. You fail to plan. This is the source of the failure. Okay, then another one. Precise failure, below plan, actual plan. So actual and plan, these two, the differences is 20 shoes per day. So the differences between actual and plan is perceived failure. This is perceived failure. Perceived failure. So actual and your plan, there is a difference of 20 shoes. Is considered perceived. Is what you plan and the actual is different. Okay. Okay. But of course, in test, sometimes you don't give example. You give this one, but you explain in a clear way using the diagram. Also correct lah. Okay. The careless mistakes, usually you mix up between the two diagrams, especially C and D. Okay. Last semester, one student flip the two diagram. Whole question gone. Okay. He draw the correct presentation of these two diagrams. He label wrongly. This one he draw correct, but he labeled this one as optimistic planning. You label wrong, whole answer wrong. No matter whether how beautiful you draw. Okay. So even though you draw diagram correct, but you label wrong, means you don't understand what you're learning. It's like you say red color become blue color. Okay. So pessimist, make sure you understand. Very direct. Okay, very direct. Okay, so something like this. You mention the point and all this. Okay. So this is under planning. We call it under planning situation or pessimistic planning, under plannings. This is over planning. Okay, over planning, you plan to achieve more than is achievable. Means if the machine can generate 100 shoes, even you turn on the maximum speed of the production line, but you plan 200 shoes, cannot run. Your operator will scream at you. Because operator, they go and just to want to make money. But you ask them to produce 200 shoes, even they work very, very, very hard, the machine, the maximum can go is 100 shoes. So this one you get scolded by people if you plan more than the achievable. This is the issues usually will happen. You make trouble. People will label you as troublemaker. Okay. Again, you are the project manager. You manage people. You manage projects. So try to make everyone happy. That's your objective. Okay. This one, over planning usually are the young project manager. They want to show how good they are to the boss, but they don't understand. They don't go and do the homework at the ground level. They over promise. Then when they go back to the company, then they get stuck. Okay, I share one of my working experience with you. My first job, I worked as a project engineer in the precision metal stamping company. So it's making hard disk drive, metal sheet metal, and then fold. There's a machine to fold it, to cut it, then fold it, and then do assembly. Okay, that is my first job. So I make one very serious mistake is that I forgot to buffer. I mean, I forgot to mark up the delivery time. So in my planning, because I was trained to like follow schedule. So when I go to work, let's say from planning, from design to prototype, I can calculate lah. Then let's say I have 40 weeks to finish the production. Then I was so young and so stupid that day. I go and tell my customers in my quotation, because I done quotation. In my quotation, I write 14 weeks to deliver the prototype with a certain cost lah. Then my boss scold me lah. Not my boss lah. My boss actually very kind to me. The only thing is I learned this one in a hard way, because you promise customer already and everything signed, contract signed already. So the whole project you have to squeeze within 14 weeks. So you have to go and persuade the production floor managers to give priority to your project first, and so on. So when that is your first job and you're very young, this one will be very trouble. So I make that mistakes. They must have some buffer or markup. Let's say 14 weeks, you add another 2 weeks, just in case anything happen to the machine, production can break down. Shipping, raw material shipping can be delayed, all these things, because we use metal. So sometimes it can be delayed. And because of the metal roll sheet, sometimes it's the raw material problems, because when we fold things, there's a tolerance minus something the raw material, sometimes it come not according to spec, so we cannot use. We need to send back this whole roll of material back to the supplier. So it will take you 1 or 2 days just to change the raw material. So I made that mistakes, but my boss very kind. He said, never mind. We will pay for the penalty, because that time we sent to the Europe for the prototypes. Then a few £1,000 lah. We need to pay for the penalty. Okay, because in the industry, they count penalty by day. They count penalty by day, a few thousand per day, and so on. But it's up to negotiation, right? But in the contract, they at least say, what happens if you cannot deliver? There's a term and condition there. Okay, so when you go to work, be careful on the phrases, right? Don't overpromise. So I learned in a hard way. So every time I handle projects, let's say I have 14 weeks, I will tell my customers or my boss, I will go to, sometime I will drag this one. I will say maybe 20 weeks. Okay, I promise 20 weeks, but I deliver in week 16. I promise week 20, I deliver 16. My customer will be very happy. My boss will be very happy. Well, I'm very, very smart. You can manage the project in a shorter time. But actually, you play with the markup strategies. But this one, you need to talk very well with the production managers and engineering team. Okay, so this one you need to play the game together with other functional managers. So because the production also don't want to squeeze their operator. Engineering team also, when they come up with the design, they also don't want to stress. So you need to have some time for them to manage the stuff. Okay. And in the company, especially in the production factory, they don't have only one project, they have many projects. And also all projects also important. All right. So I worked after 1 year in that company, and one project I remember, the customer need the prototypes urgently, and I need to deliver during the Chinese New Year celebration. So because of the good relationship with the production and the engineering team, they even send the operator and staff to do OT just for my projects. And I managed to deliver the prototypes to Europe on time. Okay, so that is a human skill or soft skill that you need to have in the industry. People with people. Okay, so very quick one. This one you read. This one you read. So this one also you read. Okay. The word quantitative. Quantitative means you can calculate, you can measure. Qualitative, this word, qualitative or quality or qualitative. This one is you cannot measure. It's more on the feeling, it's more on what you can observe, and so on. Okay, very subjective one. Okay, so you can see the description here is more on the feeling, morale, motivation, relationship with people, productivity, employee, no commitment, okay, functional, no commitment, and so on, delay, and so on. Okay, you see the quantitative one, planning, scheduling, this one you can count on, how many days, estimating, cost control. Objective being moving targets means you keep changing your objective. Okay, this one you read. Okay. This one is on the risk planning. Performance on the y-axis and the time. So this is the arrow here is customer expectation. So if the customer expectation go up like this, and the actual performance is here. So the gap between actual performance and customer expectation, there are two factors. One is poor risk management and one is technical abilities. These two can flip, no problem. But these are the two factors that give you the gap between actual performance and customer expectation. Technical and risk management. These two. Okay. This one is relationship between marketing and technical personnel. This one you read is a flowchart. Okay. Cause of failure. Cause of failure is important. There are many points here. So go and read. Maybe only need to remember four points from here. Okay. During planning executing failure, there are lots of examples here. Remember 4 from here. Okay. Stakeholders failure, there are lots of points here. Remember 4 from here. Political failure, also remember 3 or 4 from here. Okay, so this one also important. Success and failure got 4 category or 4 degree. Complete success means 100% meet criteria. Complete failure means absolutely fail and not achieving the objective. Abandon and nothing achieved. Partial success, partial failure, you read lah. So partial success is moving towards success, means one or more success constraint is not met. But the partial failure here is project is not complete, but you learn something from the process. Means you create some IPs, you have some technology learned from the process. Okay, so these are the definition. Okay, state gauge. State gauge is important, also important for chapter 2. I'll go for another maybe 5 more minutes. Then we call it a day. We try to conclude chapter 2 today. Right? Okay, so process gate, there are many presentation. You can use this one, or I will just ask you to remember this chart. Okay, what mean by stage gate model? Stage gate model is a filtering system where decision make. Okay, so you draw a cup, and then there's a 5 phrases here in the project. Scoping means you prepare your scope, what customer want and all these things. Then business case, you present, you get the business, then you develop, then you do testing, you launch it. Okay, you see this one, the gate here. Each filter is a decision stage. So stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. But because if the question asks you to elaborate stage gate model, you draw the whole thing. On the right hand side, you draw a triangular. You want to use circle also can, but important is you write gate 1, gate 2, gate 3, gate 4. What I mean by gate 1? So during scoping, you need to pass through gate 1 decision, which is management must say okay. Then you go to gate 2, your business plan must be okay. Then development. After development stage, gate 3, you must have a prototype already. Okay, your prototype pass, you go to testing. After you pass the testing, you go to gate 4, means you open gate to release the product. Gate 4, what you do is you have a final product already. Then you open gate, you launch the product. Okay, this is a phrase gate model. It can change from one company to another company, but the concept is there. Stage is like you prepare the project according to stage, right? Some got 5 stage, some got 4 stage, some have more than 10 stage. But usually we don't have more than 10 stage. Maximum is 5 or 6. The more gate you have, you need more time for approval. Then you delay the project already. Again, project management, we don't want to change the time and start date and the time end date. We don't want to have some fluctuation in the time between start and the end date. Okay, so you just memorize, and then you look at the slides and you explain, you elaborate. Okay, all the points is there. Okay, the rest you read. Okay, so with more than 6 gate, this one is because you need time for the gate review. You need to get more approval.
So from gate 6 is all related to approval.
No. Gate 4 to gate 6.
Like here is until gate 4, right?
Yeah.
Launch.
Yes.
So after launch, you didn't show here the gate 6, right?
No, this one is for 4 gate example. You can go for, if you have 6 phrases, then you have 6 gate. Understand? So the content of this color, this orange color can change from one company to another company. This one, the scoping, business case, development, this one you can change one. It's a stage. It's a stage. So you can fill in this stage by any thing that related to that business. Important is there's a stage, then there's a decision maker. This is gate number 1. You must pass through the first stage, usually is the management level. Once the management okay, then you open this gate. You go to next stage. Okay, now I'll show you the earlier one. This one. You see many gate. So you see stage 1, stage 2, stage 5. So there are 5 gates here. Important here is not how many gates you have. Is do you understand what is stage gate model or not? You can just give it 3 or 4, no problem. Important is there's a gate. What mean by gate? Is a decision making whether to proceed or not proceed. So you can see from here, stage gate process from here to launch. You can either use this one or you can use this one. Yeah. Important you explain what is gate, what is phrase. This one you go and read lah. Okay. Important. This one important. This chapter 2 main things that we expect you to know. Important. This one important. It's a concept concept in management. Okay, so these are the tools used during the report. Okay, where is the PM, which is you, project manager? Never allowed to function as their own gatekeeper. You are the project manager. You cannot be in the gate. You cannot make decision because if you are the project manager and you are the gatekeeper, of course, everything will pass on because you want to complete it in the minimum time. Right? It's not fair. And you might overlook something. It might not be professional decision. Okay? Okay, so these are the criteria. They must be willing to make decision. 4 common decision important at the gate. 4 type of decision. Proceed. Proceed. Second one is stop. Proceed with revision. Okay, the one is proceed without any revision, means proceed as what you plan. Second one, proceed with correction or proceed with revision. Third one, stop or delay the projects. Get more information because you might not clear what is the design, what is the term of the business. You're not clear. So you the decision maker here, you need, if you don't have enough information, you need to stop. You need to on hold. Here you can use the word on hold or you can use the word delay decision making and get more information. Link, the third stage is delay or stop and get information. Last one is the most difficult one, is to cancel projects. 4 kind of decision. 4 common decision. It's very popular in this module. 4 type of decision. Because later you learn calculation, you learn analysis, you learn statistics. You need to make decision based on these 4. Okay, proceed without alteration or proceed as planned. Second one, proceed with minor or correction. Third one, stop because you don't have enough information. Stop or delay, get more information. Last one, cancel. It's the most difficult decision in the gate. Early stage, still very easy. The most difficult is the last gate when you want to cancel the projects. Yeah. So why? Because you already invest so many resources here already. And then suddenly, maybe because of after you test, then before you launch, something happened. Maybe economic downturn, there's no more market in that one. Then you have to decide lah. If you cannot sell the product, why you want to launch, for example. Okay. The rest you read. Sponsor, this one. Decision, usually they are sponsors. One of the character, customer, sponsor, PM, functional unit. So sponsor, you have the courage to terminate. Benefit, this one you read. Pick 4, read. Life cycle, this one you read. This one, life cycle phrases. Life cycle phrases without maturity is this one. With maturity is the embryonic until matured stage. So don't confuse with the embryotic and this one. So this one you read lah. It's the same as chapter 1. One you read. It can be different from one industry to another industry, but this is just on the textbook, very conventional 5 process from concept, planning, testing, implementation, and close. Okay. System approach, this one you read. This one also you read. Definition, you read. Okay, this one you just memorize lah. If this kind of question come out, this is called system approach. System approach got 4 phrases. You see, translation, analysis, trade-off, synthesis. You just memorize, and you don't need to exactly copy this one. As long as you duplicate 2, you don't need to draw 4. So it's from objective to requirement to alternative. You become 1 box here. All right. So 1 box here is examination and all this lah. Okay, then you go to trade-off. Then you go to into system. After you get into the system, you loop back the information, the feedback here. You loop back the feedback to the objective. It's a closed loop system. All right. Then you memorize the constraint during setting the objective. This got 4 constraints here. Then got 4 selective criteria over here during trade-off. So there are 4 criteria here. Okay. So this usually the question is very direct. Illustrate your understanding with the diagram for system approach. We just expect you to draw this whole table or this whole chart. Okay, again, this one, although it show 4, you don't need to draw 4. Even if you draw 1 set is enough. Like objective, you go to requirement, then split into 2 alternative also can. Then it continue to trade off. Yeah, then important is all these things, all these small things, translation, analysis, trade-off, synthesis, then feedback. Arrow direction is important. Yeah, it's a theory lah. It's a theory. This one also read. This one, okay, have a quick one. A structured process for managing multitude project is most commonly referred at, what do you guess? Is a policy, guidelines, methodology? The keyword here is structured process. It's methodology. That's why in your final year project, FYP1, or in any report, engineering report, there's chapter 2 or chapter 3, you need to write a chapter of methodology in your lab report also. Okay, methodology means method, the way, the process of your method. Methodology is a process. Common terminology for reusable project management methodology is reusable projects. It's a template lah. Template means a table to fill in. Major behavior issues in getting organization to accept and use a project management methodology effectively is lack of sponsorship, multiple boss reporting, inadequate policies, limited project management application. So, major behavior. C. Okay. So, project management methodology, major behavior issues is multiple boss reporting. That's why in the chapter 1, we learn about organization chart. Project, non-project, who to report to. Okay, so when you're managing product, you must know who report to who. But in later chapter, we look into that. Major difference between the project and program. This one, there's a slide tell you the definition of project and program. The difference between project and program will be what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Okay, time frame is different. Okay. Now again, 4 character. Customer. Customer is the one who decide whether you success or fail. Sponsor is the one who make decision if there any conflict between PM and functional unit manager. Sponsor also, he's a decision maker. Just now, the stage switch model. He's a decision maker whether go or no go. Okay. Line manager, link with the resources. Always link line manager or functional unit with the resources. He control the resources. Okay. Then operator, nothing lah. Operator, nothing. Okay. Project remain almost entirely within one functional area. Is best managed by project that remain almost entirely within one functional area. Is best managed by who? The keyword here, almost entirely functional area. Yeah, functional area. Okay, functional managers always link to resources one. If you see anything with function, means link to the function managers. You see something linked with the project, you link with the project manager. This is a bit special about project management module. Okay. Large projects are managed by who? Of course not D lah. Of course not D. Of course not sponsor. Yeah, sponsor only make decision and solve conflict between PM and functional managers. All right. So by project office, if it's a very big project, you need PMO, project management office. Go and read the attachment in the Canvas, the PM book. Go and read what is PMO, project manager office. The detail is inside the document. Now PMO basically is just a team of consists of PM and the functional managers, the specialists. Most common threshold limit on when to use project management methodology is what? Common threshold limit. What do you think? What limit the project management methodology? All answer also correct, but which one is the most correct? So is B. Why? We're still back to the triangular. That's why in the beginning, I keep emphasizing this one. Time, cost, and customer requirement. Okay. So size of the project or money and duration. Group of project is called program. Most difficult decision for executive sponsor to make at the end of the phrases review, and there are 4 decisions. Proceed with alteration or changes, wait, get for more information or delay. Last one is cancel. So this one, the most difficult decision for sponsors to make decision is cancel projects, because you already invest resources there. Having too many life cycle phrases may be detrimental because project managers spend too much time planning, forget review meetings rather than managing the phrases. So that's why we don't want to have so many phrases. Okay, so you can be more, but you will drag your projects. This one you read lah. Okay, so which one? So this one we mentioned just now. Primary project success and secondary project success. If you look at this one on the whiteboard here, primary one is on the external, usually linked with this triangular. But internal one is a secondary success factor, the process and all these things. So if you see these choices here, this one is an internal process. Okay. Okay, with this we conclude chapter 2. Okay. Sign your attendance.